What's up, YouTube? So before we start with this video, on first take, they're going to be talking about, are the Pittsburgh Steelers a legit threat to the Baltimore Ravens? So let's see what they have to say about that.
If you're locked down in your house like we are, there's a lot of fun things that you can do and figure out. We spent the morning figuring out curriculum for the next few weeks of homeschooling for the kids and putting together a great schedule. And there's some other fun things that we're going to discuss that you can do in the house.
I can't be mad at that.
Okay, so it's obviously the right message to be delivering and very good for him to be doing that. But guys, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Marcus, your thoughts on the beard?
As long as his arm is still strong, he can still read defenses. He's at least halfway mobile. I would look however you want to look, as long as you can still ball.
You can only do that when you're rich. Like that's a rich person beard right there. I got to cut mine because I'm on TV and I'm trying to extend this career. But when you're rich like that and you don't have anything to do, obviously Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have anything to do based on how he looks.
There are a bunch of fun things.
Ben.
He said there are a bunch of fun things you can do around the house. Clearly, shaving is not one of them. And you're right. When you ain't got nothing to worry about, you can look like that and put on the internet. It doesn't matter when you're married and you got money. Who you looking good for?
Anyway,
Exactly. Like I said, as long as you can still ball out, who cares what you look like? If they want to judge a book by its cover, no problem. You can catch an L too. So let's continue.
he said was important. And now let's talk about his football team, which is the really important part of all of this, because as he returns fully healthy, the odds makers at Caesars in Vegas still have the Ravens as the clear odds-on favorites to win that division. Pittsburgh second, just slightly ahead of Cleveland. Steelers have not missed the playoffs in 3 straight years since 1998 through 2000, so it's been a very long time. And Swagoo, I sort of look at this 2 different ways. Obviously, the Ravens were awesome, and they seem to have gotten better during the offseason. But let's not forget, the Steelers made a run to where they were in playoff contention going to the very end of the season without a guy who, if he is healthy, we consider to be an elite quarterback. So in your mind, are the Steelers a legit threat to the Ravens in the AFC North?
100% they are. And one is Ben coming back. Obviously, they had a tough season. They had a roller coaster ride with their quarterback play. But also, let's not forget that Mike Tomlin is the head coach, who sometimes we seem not to give enough credit until last year when he had to do it with guys that we didn't think would be playing at all. So when you look at it, Ben coming back, bringing back continuity, the run game was strong early in the season as well. Juju Smith-Schuster was elevated to the number 1, didn't have a really good season, but I think a lot of that had to play in the quarterback play. TJ Watt is a superstar on the other side of the ball. Bud Dupree is going to be a superstar on the other side of the ball. This is a good football team. Minka Fitzpatrick came in from a trade from Miami and created turnovers, was what they were looking for. This is going to be a really good football team. It will not be a cakewalk for the Ravens to get past Pittsburgh, especially if Ben is playing, because with Ben playing, not only instills confidence, it is a guy behind center that you know can win games, and you've seen win games. So for all of the hype that's around the Ravens, Pittsburgh will be there this year.
What do you think, Nick?
So you can never go wrong with the having Ben Roethlisberger as your quarterback. So Ben Roethlisberger's been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of those 3. So, I mean, just from the beginning, he's been a beast. Like I said, he won a Super Bowl his second year. And no matter what, Ben Roethlisberger is a good, well-seasoned Super Bowl caliber quarterback that I'll always be wary of and always think that he has a chance to make some moves and to get to another Super Bowl because he's been there before and he knows how to do it. Also with Mike Tomlin. So Mike Tomlin pretty much worked with nothing last year. A bunch of scrubs. I hate to say it, but there were a bunch of scrubs, and they still went 8-8. So just imagine when Roethlisberger comes back and they pick up maybe another receiver or a running back in this year's draft, I think they can definitely make some moves. On the other hand, now the Baltimore Ravens absolutely balled last year. So what were they, 14-2? Lamar Jackson is just an absolute killer. Won the MVP. So there's a lot going on there, and they're going to progress and get better. I know they didn't have the type of playoffs that they wanted last year when they got knocked off, But still, that's a learning experience, and this next year is just going to be another step in the correct direction. But I would never, never, never count out Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin. So let's continue.
Yeah, they played the Ravens tough last year, even without having Ben Roethlisberger. And I think having a year off of Roethlisberger allowed that defense to take on more pressure. And I think Ben Roethlisberger is getting to the point in his career, though he's not as old as a guy like Tom Brady. His style of play, I don't think, will hold up in his later in his career. So I think having this year to kind of put the pressure on the defense.
Yeah, so I sorry, I don't mean to cut him off, but I got to say this. So like I said, with Ben Roethlisberger, he's a well-seasoned Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and I can definitely see him coming back and doing some damage, kind of like how Aaron Rodgers did last year. Because besides last year, the past 2 years for the Green Bay Packers, they didn't even make the playoffs. But last year, Aaron Rodgers stepped it up. I know they got a new coach, Matt LaFleur, but Aaron Rodgers stepped it up and got those guys back to the playoffs, and they were legit contenders. So, I think I can definitely see Ben Roethlisberger, which I think he's a little bit either younger or older than Aaron Rodgers. I can't quite remember offhand. But I can definitely see him making another big playoff Super Bowl run, just like what Aaron Rodgers did. I would never count out Ben Roethlisberger. So let's continue.
Allows them to take some pressure off the offense, because previous to this, they were kind of an offensive-focused team with AB and Le'Veon Bell and Ben Roethlisberger. Now they seem like they are more dependent on that defense. They're going to ask less of Ben Roethlisberger, which I think will get him to be the best that he can be in those big moments when they need him in big situations. So this defense can, which we all know defense doesn't necessarily hold up as well year to year, but if this defense can be anywhere close to what it was last year, and Ben Roethlisberger can be 75% of his greatest self, I think this team is certainly going to be tough for the Ravens to beat.
Go ahead, Marcus. Finish up on that thought. I'm just writing down names here. The Ravens are obviously a contender in the AFC. The Chiefs are the champions. We all understand. Then I'm trying to write down other names. Titans, Patriots, Bills. Who else are we buying in the AFC? Browns? Are the Steelers in that mix?
We are buying the Titans for sure. And we're buying Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be a really good football team, probably the leader in that division now.
Yeah, Buffalo really surprised me last year. So what they knocked out, was it the New England Patriots? Don't quote me on that. I think they knocked out the New England Patriots last year in the playoffs. So Buffalo is definitely a team you better keep an eye on and not overlook. So let's continue.
That Tom Brady has exited with what they have. Stephon Diggs coming in. But Pittsburgh is going to be there, G.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
It's been proven to us in the past few years, Pittsburgh will be in this conversation.
That division is going to be tough. I think the Browns are going to get much better once they have a kind of
So I don't know if I would push it with the Browns, because I thought the same thing last year with the stacked team that they had on offense and defense. I thought they were going to do a lot more better than what they did, but they just came out the gates playing like trash. Everybody was on different pages. Nobody was on the same page. There was a lot of bickering and pointing fingers and things of that nature. So I think I'm just going to wait for the Cleveland Browns to show me something before I start hyping them up. Unlike what I did last year, because that's is very disappointing. But let's continue.
Oh, they are running the team, which they didn't have in the previous